Hey, Tiger fans, Ben Rosenbaum here for another edition of the Tiger Lacrosse Report. And as always, I'm joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Sonia LaMonica. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
Good. And belated happy birthday to you as well. So happy birthday from us here at TSN.
Thank you. Yes, I share it with Lindsay, so that's always fun. You share a birthday with a player.
So last time out against the Hofstra Pride, a hard fought, just such a prototypical CAA game, right? Just hard fought battle on both ends of the field, coming up just one goal short, 10-9 to Hofstra. Just your thoughts on that game. It had a little bit of a playoff atmosphere to it.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? It was, first game we had more fans in the stands, so you had definitely, a bigger atmosphere at the field, which was cool. Hofstra's a great team. I thought we played a pretty reasonable, solid first half, and I think we just started to see the wear and tear from a 2-day turnaround weekend starting to catch up with us a little bit in the second half, and just some unforced errors that are costly and unfortunately had us come up a little short. So it was a heartbreaking sort of outcome, but the good news is we get a chance to go up to Hofstra and improve from that game and learn from it and fight for a win to finish off regular season.
When you look at the last game, the defense as a whole, when you compare them to the last previous games prior, stood a little tougher, right? Only allowing the 10 goals. They seem to be kind of righting the ship a little bit. And you were also kind of playing a weird sort of situation too, where you're face guarding Alyssa Perella the whole game. How did you think your defensive unit did throughout that stretch?
Yeah, I think for a lot of the game, they really did a good job. We made some small adjustments after the first couple of goals to what we were doing. And then I think that was a really good game plan, limiting Alyssa Perella to 1 goal and 1 assist. And those points came at the very first and the very last points of the game. I thought Liv Melanthi did an outstanding job on really limiting Perella and her opportunities. Unfortunately, Alexa Matera really stepped up for them and made some plays down the stretch. And we just kind of misfired on a couple things, allowing that 3-goal run late in the game and letting them in the door. But I will say, I thought it was definitely, as a whole, our team improvement from our last outing. Despite, having a really hard game, exerting a lot in that Friday night game against Drexel, and then coming out on Sunday and, improving for sure defensively. And, offensively in the first half, the things that we were running, there were lots of opportunities and the group did a better job of being disciplined, finishing a little more of our opportunities. We've still got work to do there in our scoring percentage and finding some open looks that are there. So we're moving in the right direction, and we've got to continue to get better this week so that we can come out with a strong win this weekend.
And then sticking with the defensive side, Carly Merlot was, I thought, was great in between the pipes, made a lot of huge saves, point blank range at times. What did you think about her performance? Because that had been kind of an up and down the last couple of games trying to find that goalkeeping solution. And I thought Carly stepped up in a huge game against Hofstra.
Yeah, I totally agree. And she was somebody that we were applauding in some of those timeouts, and certainly at the end of the game, just for standing on her head on a few of the saves that she made. Really, really strong. So, she put more of a full game together, and we need that. We need that from all of our players, particularly our goalies. For Carly, stepping up and having a strong presence on that back line is going to be really important for us as we move forward and look to compete, in conference. So, I think that was a great game for her. And, we're looking for her to continue on that way this week.
And then offensively, obviously Blair Paris came up big with a hat trick. Lindsay Marshall with 2 goals, and Lindsay looked a little more confident playing on the field. She just seemed to just carry herself more in the way that we saw her at the beginning of the season when she was absolutely dominant.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon for players to kind of get in their heads, whether it's having some shooting block or defensively. I mean, that happens in sports. And I know Lindsay has been, really trying to kind of work through that. And she's, again, she's a freshman. She's done so many incredible things this season. It's easy to then expect, we need to have that kind of performance every game. But you forget that, she's a young buck, and she's learning a lot. She's learning how to play against zone defenses among some others in our group, and that can be a process. So just continuing to believe in these players, and for Lindsay, we believe in her and what she can do, and it was great to see her finding a little more of her rhythm for sure. On the draws, certainly she was having some success, and getting in and getting some scoring looks and finishing some of those great shots that we've seen her do this season. So I was excited for her to kind of break through that a little bit and regain, some of that confidence, like you said, which, really isn't an easy thing to do, at this level of sports.
Carrie Thornton, someone else who had a really strong game, a goal and 3 assists. And you could even say she, on her goal, was going for that 4th assist, but the pass kind of goes off the mark and ends up in the back of the net. How fluid and how smooth is the offense when she's on her game and when she's able to really play her game?
Yeah, Carrie has she's got a great skill set, and again, for her is just confidence as well. I think she is very smooth. She's very quick with her feet, and we see time and time again her finishing abilities in practice, her one-on-one dodging abilities, and those are things that are really impactful. And it was great to see her finding some open looks. The offense that we were running with and had been practicing through are going to generate the types of looks. And we saw majority of our goals assisted. That's a really good thing and needed when you're playing against a zone defense. And, some of the spots that Kerry was playing in facilitated her being able to find some of those open looks. So, it is important for the offensive unit, for Kerry to be in a rhythm as well. But you kind of need everyone in a rhythm, particularly in a zone defense. You never know who's going to be moving an open spot, and you're open, you want the ball and you want to be able to finish. So Kerry, had a strong outing, and looking forward to her continue building on that this week as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the high volume of assists. 7 of the 9 goals assisted on for the Tigers, and now this week up in Long Island, taking on the same team you just played. How much do you change? How much do you keep the same? Because obviously they saw what you threw at them, you saw what they threw at you. How much change do you make going into this back-to-back with Hofstra?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's, you got to go back and figure out, what held us back. And for us, I think it's just the unforced errors. We got to clean those up. That's definitely a big piece. I think we progressed through a lot of our season with, more minimal unforced errors. And these last few games, they've really been way too high. So, again, that just comes from, regrouping, keeping faith in our unit, trusting in each other as teammates, and continuing to kind of just push through, that grind part of your season when you've come off some losses. It's really important that as a group, we're continuing to learn from these experiences, keep it in perspective, and know that these are the moments that it really matters of doing the little things well, your attention to detail, doing the basics. It's easy to not think those things really matter, particularly when the going gets tough. So that, I think, right now is the learning for us in, not focusing on the losses. We just got to focus on the little things that we need to do a better job of. Being strong finishers inside, playing good defense on the hip and getting low and driving those players wide, or, just making a good catch or making a good throw and a good feed, hitting our target. So that's focus, that's attention to detail. And now's the time when it really, really matters. So, I think that's what's important for us. We may make a few little strategic adjustments, based on our, our game against Hofstra just gone. But I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel. Both teams obviously have a good feel for each other. And to me, it'll mostly come down to who can execute the game plan the best, who can catch and throw best, who's going to clear the ball well, who's going to finish their opportunities and capitalize when a game is on the line. That's what's going to matter. So, that's what we're focusing on this week.
All right. The Tigers and Pride Part 2 takes place on Saturday, May 1st at 1 o'clock up in New York. Coach, thanks for taking some time for us today, and good luck against Hofstra.
Thanks, Ben. Always a pleasure.